It has begun. All right, my wokey bro. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Yes.
And to have a space of authentic honesty. And
this is Stoked Bros.
This is Stoked Bros.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, everyone. Bros. So welcome to Stoked Bros. My name is Jackson Strong, and this fine gentleman is someone else.
I am someone else. My name is Julian Castro.
Incredible.
And I'm stoked to be here.
As am I, bro. As am I, truly. And shout out to everyone that's shared some love and some reviews for the first episode, which was super exciting. And I really enjoyed creating because...
Why did the AC turn on?
I don't know why. How's that possible?
I'm going to do that.
All right. So I'm going to set some intentions here. And Julian's going to fix the AC because he's freaking awesome like that. And it's really cool to be here with you. And Julie and I were talking before we hit record here about the resistance that has shown up in our external lives and the people around us, and in our internal lives after recording the first episode. Is that a place that you want to go now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive right in.
Love it. So, according to mentors I've had in Pressfield and other really amazing people, there is this force that in their opinion, and what resonates with me is that there is this force that opposes us and wants to keep us off track of our real purpose and mission and expressing our art to the world. What are your feelings on that? How does that show up for you? What's your perspective there?
Yeah, resistance. Ooh, man. I read in a book where I get most wisdom and guidance from. I exclusively follow what I read in books.
Yes.
That resistance is a part of the creative process. And the author said, include resistance in the process instead of resisting the resistance or like trying to like overcome it or anything. They're like, no, it's part of the process. Like you start a project, you work on it, blah, blah, blah. There's resistance, just like, so you expect it. So this is actually really great that we're talking about this because I'm currently experiencing some resistance to doing the Woke Bros show.
Yeah. I think everyone's going to experience that when they really start tapping into that journey and that authentic expression.
Yeah.
What's it like? What's going on?
It's well, I think my career after college started in the corporate world as an engineer, and then 2 years after that, I quit, and then I started doing my own entrepreneur journey as doing creative work. And
that is an amazing freaking story, by the way. It's like the polarity of like where you were and where you are now. I mean, you can't really get more different than oil and gas engineer to today.
Artist.
I mean, it's amazing, man.
Yeah. But so the whole like journey, there's been so much
respect
resistance.
the fuck out of it. It's part of the reason I bring it up, not to like call you out, but
Thank
saying like, wow, that's great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I see you, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
So much resistance, and a lot of it has been, and this is what I see so much in everyone. It's like as we become more aligned with who we are and the way we want to live our lives and the way we want to express ourselves in career, for fun, with our friends, there is resistance. And it's wild. Like, I feel like I'm all over the place right now, but
keep going,
it's wild how even society is like designed to keep us from... Society is designed to be resistance, to keep us from where we are and like who we truly want to be, which is so messed up. And
the Matrix.
Yeah. And it's like, no wonder. So a lot of the resistance I've had and what's coming up now is like my family, my parents, basically, I'm an only child. They did an amazing job at helping me have the American dream and have an amazing education, an amazing life and career and make money. And with the corporate stuff. So now that I'm like doing creative work, being an artist, doing photography, that's so like not the path that was laid out for me. And so now there's just been like resistance hurdles to get over. And for me, it's been a lot about like self-expression and like just coming out as an artist and a creator and doing what I want. And I just see so much of that. And like we were just talking before hitting record, like no wonder I work with clients to help them with their branding and their marketing, to help them express themselves, because that has been the biggest challenge for me, has been expressing myself. So it's funny how we do that.
Yeah, we teach what we need to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How's the resistance showing up for you?
Yeah, fear. Intense fear of judgment, which has always been the biggest.
Classic human.
Yeah, right. I must be a human after all. So and that's been the biggest holdback for me for my creating things and being honest and being expressive is like what's someone else going to think about this, and am I going to get kicked out of the tribe? Am I going to be seen as less than for being my authentic self? And this is such a bizarre and hilarious form to do that, and like I think that's why we both felt so strongly to start doing this is to go like way beyond like whatever like an honest opinion would have even been.
This is like the heaviest weight we could lift.
right. So deadlift 500 pounds. Yeah, let's go.
You're gonna get stronger lifting heavy weights than lifting
guaranteed.
a PVC pipe. So
exactly. So I think and there's always been this like call to be like an inspirational person. I think I certainly have this like Messiah complex thing, and Tallawhammy talked about that briefly. And I think we all have that, to be these like inspirational people. Like at least a lot of us do. And for me, the version of the leader that I want to be is someone that comes from a place of my own story. And there's a lot of amazing stuff that's shared online by people, and saying you need to, if you feel more gratitude, if you do this. And there was a really cool moment when I was in gratitude training, brother, and which has a lot of really great stuff in it. And I know a lot of you are in the gratitude world out there. So whenever anyone would speak, Chris DeSanti would, if anyone said if anyone said you, is like I. And if you've been through gratitude, well, and you're not supposed to talk about gratitude, I guess. So sorry, I already did that, but whatever.
I don't know if they're even in business anymore.
Yeah, they're not. So that's that.
Sorry. Missed you.
R.I.P. gratitude. Yeah, you're great. So whenever someone would speak, it's always I. And so that's the place that I want to come from as a leader, as an example, as someone who is expressing myself and tapping into this creative entrepreneurial artist life. And I think that I'm not a painter, but expressing my poetry online, expressing my art through my clients' work, and tapping into this crazy woke bro stuff is certainly a form of art. And that is that's how I want to show that I'm leading. Is it's my personal experience that I'm actually doing this and embodying this, rather than here's how you should live your life.
Right. Yeah, it's like our greatest gifts come from our deepest pain. So I think teaching or like expressing from our own experience. Also too, like everyone online, like all the advice, all the teachers, everything, they're just mostly like 99% just sharing what worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important for like us, and like I see you doing this, to like follow our own path based on our experience, and not just because someone online said it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's been heavy on me for a while now, is just being good with whatever's in me, not judging myself for whatever feelings or attractions or whatever is alive in me. I want to be okay with that, and I don't want to judge that. Mm-hmm. And like I don't know what we really are as beings, but I know that there's a lot of bullshit in religion and in society, and that's something that I want to be outside of, and just be good with me for wherever that goes. I think that's something that's really, I think we're all trying to get to that place in one way or another.
So how was recording episode uno? How was that for you, as far as like your creative process, your personal process?
It was so fucking fun, man. Like the joy from that is something that I don't recall experiencing that kind of joy in a long time. Like I've been happy and like lots of cool moments, but like to really tap into like me and just being true to whatever that crazy voice is inside that like wants to be that person that's Tallawhammy. I mean, brother, it's a wild thing to be, man. It's a lot of judgment comes up, man. A lot of fear and anxiety, man. And I'm like, damn, man, people are gonna think you're fucking crazy, man.
A lot of emotions inside of you. That's just been holding in there and festering.
There's so many feelings, man. You know, I feel a lot, brother. You know, rage and sadness and depression and anxiety, man. I've been through some hard times in this journey, man. And you know, I think it's like a sock puppet of sorts. You know, like I can express myself through Tallawhammy more than I can through my regular self, you know, because it's so painful, man. You know, it's funny because it's true.
Can we slow down and just drop into our hearts?
I would enjoy a good, you know, nippling of, what do we have here?
Same blend.
Blend. Is this a...
Shout out doTERRA. Shout out to Leilani. Leilani's my oil fairy.
Oh, man.
She's a yoga teacher in Bali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she, you know, I'm under her in the pyramid. I don't sell, but I buy from her, you know.
Wow. She's so wise. And this stuff really does work, by the way. So shout out to, you know, the plant medicine world. Jokes aside, this stuff's great. Like, it really does make you feel good. So shout out to that. And, you know, and kind of on that subject, you know, I've thought about it a lot of like, we're satirizing ourselves, obviously, you know, because
we're totally making fun of ourselves.
Yeah. Like, this isn't to say like, screw you spiritual people, you know, it's like, kind of screw you us in a way. But like, for sure. Because obviously we know this stuff. So we've been in these worlds and authors and, you know, workshops and whatever.
You've lived in Tulum. We both do breath work. We've read the book. Yeah, everything.
Totally. So, you know, it's really healthy to make fun of ourselves. And I think that's something that, you know, there's been a concept in my head for a long time of like, we're in like the woke Olympics or like the Enlightenment Olympics, where we're like competing with each other to like, who can and like competing with ourselves.
Who's fasted for longer?
Right.
Who's done a longer meditation?
Totally.
Who's done more plant medicine ceremonies?
So, totally. You know, and there's a lot of greatness that's, you know, come from the plant medicine world for me, and a lot of, you know, belief there. But there's definitely a lot of craziness in that world and people going too far and not integrating and like crazy spiritual ego stuff. Like the spiritual narcissism stuff, I think, is a big part of what we're kind of like assailing against and like going out there to make fun of. Because I've got it myself.
I know, and I've been there. I've totally been there. Totally. Like super spiritual, like holier than thou, like judging everyone else, like not wanting to be friends with my friends.
Yeah, but the judgments, same. So same.
Yeah.
When you look back on your judgmental self, how do you relate to that version of yourself now?
The spiritual judgment.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I still am judgmental, as we all are.
Oh, I'm so disappointed, bro. I thought you would have said it, right?
Mostly of myself. Look back. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I swung so far to like super spiritual, like doing so much yoga, not drinking any alcohol, only wanting to hang out with like spiritual, conscious people, only going to those types of events. And I would like kind of like hermited from my past life and my past relationships and my friendships and a lot of my like college friends, high school friends that weren't into all this like woo-woo stuff. I was like,
I didn't know that, man. Same here.
Part of me was like, I don't want to hang out with them anymore. And I didn't, and kind of like lost touch with a lot of them. And lately, like this past year, I've kind of like had this like huge shift. And now I'm like, hanging out with them more, talking to them more. I just like noticed how judgmental I was, and it was impeding my connection with so many people. And just like, this is gross. I don't want to be like this.
Yeah, I mean that the balance, you know, the middle way, and you know, blending the worlds together for me is where I think a lot of the power is. And there's at the risk of going back into my own spiritual whatever thing, there's this really cool concept that the best description of this that I've heard is from a Rosicrucian speaker that I saw, John, link below, don't remember his last name. Swipe up, and he talks about the center path in Kabbalah and in Rosicrucianism, and we have these two sides to like our lives, which could be our spiritual sense, and it could be our like meat and potatoes, carnal, whatever sense, just living in the matrix, right? Mm-hmm. And going too far on either side of those two things is where dysfunction can come up, and finding the synergy between different worlds. And right now, speaking of plant medicine, bringing plant medicine together with modern science and chemistry. And I was at a really, really awesome event last night in the psychedelic science world. And shout out Dustin Robinson and Silo Wellness and Sciatria. I'm sorry, link below again for the third speaker, Chris, which is amazing. And there's so much change afoot, and we're bringing back these ancient methods and putting them into this like modern context. And in a way, it's like this. It's too much for people to handle. I think the plant medicine are kind of blowing people out a little bit, a lot lately, leading to some dysfunctions. Speaking of being judgmental, there I am. But finding, and I say that to urge myself, to remind myself, and to remind other people out there to find like the middle way between things. I think that's where a lot of the power is.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely left the middle way there for a few years.
Yeah, I was saying, man, and like.
But now I'm like I drink wine now again.
Yeah.
Smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We're also like humans having this human experience. So like, I think the point is to enjoy it.
Yeah.
In like a empowered way.
So when you think about enjoying life, and then when you think about the divine expression of yourself and like tapping into some kind of higher will, what's your opinion on that? Do you have an opinion there?
I think I tap into a higher will and divine expression when I'm creating. I think we humans, we're here to make babies. That is the purpose of our existence, to progress our species. And making a baby is the ultimate act of creation. You're creating another human, multiple, if you want. So we have this creative energy and this desire to create. That's why also like we're creating cities, we create businesses, that's why things just keep growing all the time. Corporations just keep growing, businesses, because that's our nature. And it's also nature's nature to create. So I think when I'm creating, that's like when I'm like my higher self or like my best self, because that's just like what we're here to do. And that brings joy, that brings happiness, it heals feelings of sadness and depression, because it's just this like, it's like what you're supposed to be doing. It's like God or the universe or whatever. It's like, oh, you're creating now, like reward, here's happiness. I'll take that anxiety, like ding, 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 ding. Like you're doing good, keep going. It's like,
Love that.
There's something else I was going to say. I forgot. Yeah.
It'll come back to you, brother.
Yeah.
It's all happening now.
Oh, and then here it is. You see that? That is actually what I want to say is like someone, a spiritual teacher I met along the way.
Wow.
She told
Mentor.
me, she was like, where do your thoughts come from? And that really made me like, whoa. Because we think we come up with stuff, but where do they come from? They could come from our brain or in our mind, but they also could come from somewhere else. Or like my paintings, it's like, where do these ideas, I don't know where I have the idea, that's like the language that we use, I have the idea, but like where did the idea come from? Did it come from within me? Did it come from my mind, my brain, my heart, God, the universe? Like what? So that has me think like maybe this is like a divine experience, creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that resonates so deeply. And
yeah, brother.
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
And I really do think that's true. And I'm a layman as far as any really deep understanding of neuroscience, or most of the stuff that I talk about is really just like I take like a Joe Rogan perspective. Like, look, I'm kind of like a smart moron, and like
I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah, I'll take like this. I'm like a C student, like at like whatever level. But without like denigrating myself and honoring my own sacred being, There's, from what I see in neuroscience and understanding of the brain, there is no consciousness in the brain. They have no idea where consciousness really lives. And we have neurons in our heart. We have neurons in our gut. Like there's processing, there's mental, conscious processing happening in our gut and our heart. And like dropping from this like headspace into a more like being state is awesome. And I think that's where a lot of our creativity lives. And then also I feel like we're like a divine antenna in some kind of way, where we are like absorbing signals from the universe, God, whatever, and expressing them. And we talked about our inner daemon and like this like inner like magical being or this like force of creation that like drives us. What's your perspective on that?
The inner daemon. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because what I've read about it is it's our genius, right? Mm-hmm. It's like connected to our genius. So it's this being, it's like this identity of who we are, genius. And I think a lot of the creative journey, the hero's journey, is towards moving closer to being that person.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd say it's a lot of that, and having the strength of will and the commitment to that. And for me, there's kind of like a twofold motivation. One is I'm terrified of regret. I'm terrified of not expressing that, like whatever this gift I have, whatever this desire I have to create, to be my authentic self. I'm terrified that I'll miss out on that. And in the past, that's led me to some hermit type places, and has made me like so obsessed with God's will and like doing the will and like this like Christ sacrifice life. Outside of religion, I didn't really go to church, but like it definitely, and I felt like it was just more like authentic like path, but there was a ton of like religious dogmatic thinking in there. And it was really, looking back on it, there was a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of martyrdom syndrome. Holy shit, is that ever has been present for me, and I think a lot of other people too. So, finding and so locating where that resistance comes from. I think recognizing that there is this negative force around us, and as much as we want to be love and light and ascended beings, there's like a lot of the spiritual community that wants to be these like love and light people, which I think is great in a lot of ways. It's certainly better than being eating McDonald's and like being like in the Matrix in a lot of ways. But I think it does miss out on like the harshness of the world that we're in at times, and the fact that we do need to be fortified, and we do need to we can't just always go with the flow and be like, oh, I'm flowing with this and I'm not really feeling that. It's like well, maybe it's not the right time, maybe, but also maybe you need to really buckle in and push forward and fight through those right. moments. For sure. Mm-hmm. And I've done that and experienced that, and waited on inspiration, and then also had a lot of moments like no, I gotta hang in on this, I gotta push through this. And then if it's half an hour or a day of like really feeling like super tense and anxious and just not feeling good, but then a breakthrough comes. And so I've learned to be patient for that and to push through that.
Tell me more about that. I love this topic. Cool. Like when you're feeling like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of moments. So for me, my coping system is the more intense, like emotional energy that I've felt. And full disclosure, I had a lot of depression issues, a lot of anxiety issues, a lot of self-loathing issues, and that stuff still, and I've dealt with it, even recently. And it's a matter of daily practices that help me to process that emotion, and a lot of different therapies and modalities, and I'm surrounded by incredible clients and incredible friends who are spiritual guides and healers and coaches, consultants, and I've been blessed by life to to have the right people around me to deal with these type of things. And I've taken a very multidisciplinary approach to find what it is within me that creates that, and to transcend it. So for me, when that darkness comes up, it's like heavy exercise, like just like smash through the cortisol and smash through like the biochemical stuff, because there's like the chemistry side of ourselves which we got to like fight through. Then there's like the the psychological part for me, which is doing what I know I need to be doing. And like, for me, like if I'm like stressed about something and I like sit in my bed and like I just ask myself, okay, what do I really need to be doing right now? And I'm just sit there and I'm just really present with it. You know, I'll know the answer pretty quickly. Yeah. And it's like, okay, shit, like you're avoiding your taxes. Right. And like, that's why you're stressed, right, because this foundational thing hasn't been dealt with. Right. Oh, fuck, I hate doing my fucking taxes, you know? And so like the NLP rewiring stuff, I have the opportunity to get this anxiety out of my life. I have the opportunity I should be grateful to pay taxes because I live in this great country and, you know, I'm making a good income. So I get to spend this money, you know what I mean? So reprogramming that I think is cool. I think there's a lot of power there. And, you know, for me, there's like this balance of like speaking to myself in this nonviolent way, like NLP friendly way. And then also like telling myself of like, no, motherfucker, you're going to fucking hammer through this shit. And like my transition recently from like Mac to Jackson, like that was a lot of that. And like it came from like, a lot of it was inspired by David Goggins. And he went from David Goggins, who was very weak, fat, and sorry if that's a microaggression, but he was a fat person objectively. And, you know, and he had a lot of issues. And if I'm honest with myself, I can see a lot of, you know, I can call it weakness. I can call it the aspects of myself that I no longer align with, you know, whatever the right language is. But like Jackson was and is a more fortified, more professional, more like empowered version of myself. And that was like a phase shift that helped to like crystallize a lot of this stuff.
Nice. So Jackson can more powerfully handle himself.
Yeah, I think Jackson is a bigger container for handling the emotions of my life. And you know, if we tap into the human design stuff, which we touched on, I'm a 2-4 emotional projector. And so I feel things really deeply, and you know I don't want to like tap into identity too much, or it becomes like a victim thing where we like tap into this like whatever. But if that human design stuff is true, you know I experience very like wide range of emotion, and like you can see it in like the ecstatic like Tallawhammy stuff of, you know, all of that, and also, you know, really getting a strong sense for the darkness. And ultimately I'm grateful for it because it allows me to tap in with other people and to lead myself through that. And brief thing from Tony Robbins on leadership is that, you know, to be a leader, we have to start with ourselves. And then we can, once we can influence ourselves and shift our state on demand, then we've earned the right to really express that to other people and say, okay, let me lead you on a meditation or whatever, or be this like enlightened person, you know? Right. Yeah. But it starts here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say, brother. It's a lot of good stuff.
I appreciate your honest expression, bro. I see you.
Just a reflection of your honest expression.
Wow, man. It's so divine, brother. It's just so divine, man. When we find these moments to like express our souls to the world, we can just like tap into the muse and thank you, God, and this divine feminine force of creation to show us the way that we can live here on earth in a more happy and more powerful way, you know?
Boy, yeah, I'll tell you what.
Damn, man.
Damn.
I kind of want to be sad, man. I don't want to be anxious and hateful and like judgmental. It sucks, man. You know, it's
not what we're here to do.
I'm not here.
We're here to be happy and free. You know, look at kids on the playground. That's what we're here to do.
Look at them, man. You know, they got great form. You know, when you see them playing,
they bend down to pick something up. Great form.
Excellent, man. I mean, the hip mobility.
Yep.
I mean, I'm jealous, man. That little 3-year-old squat champion,
pulling
man.
any backs.
Not even close, man. That's a vertebral alignment, man.
Vertebral alignment.
They're so aligned, brother.
Their little chakras are so aligned because they're vertebral alignment.
It's amazing, man.
It's like a chicken or the egg. Is it the vertebra or the chakras that align each other? Boy, I tell you what, it's a little bit of this, little something, you know what I'm saying?
That was a breakthrough, man. We just had a moment.
Yeah.
That was a
we
moment.
just got into character.
That was good, man.
All right.
I think we might should we do another character in recording? So we only have a minute left on this moment here. So I hope that our honest expressions have inspired you to express yourself more honestly. And I think the deepest level of my intention with this is to express myself and inspire others to express themselves.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, and it's a breakthrough. I also have fear of judgment. So it's like expressing myself, publishing it as an act of breaking through the fear of judgment.
Yeah. Here's the breaking through.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. Woo!
Hope you enjoyed Stoked Bros episode
Swipe
1.
up, merch.
Swipe up, get your merch. Sign up for our upcoming 27-day retreat in the mountains of Tulum.
It's amazing.
Or Everglades City. Not sure yet. We're still working out the venues.
Mwah.
Mwah.